Now, would you start first where you said that? Well, actually, let's start with your own family first. Where were you born?
Grandson. Outside Waterford.
Okay.
On the Dunmore Road.
And where did you go to primary school?
I went to primary school in the local school in Knockboy, Ballygunner.
Okay. And do you remember who was teaching there at that time?
A man called Connie Fitzpatrick, and was a lady from Tremor. I can't remember her name.
And what did you think of primary school? Did you like it?
Yes, I fell into routine, whatever was going on. I had to conform.
and tell me, did you stay right up to the end of primary school?
Did I?
Did you stay on right to the end of primary school?
Yes. I went on to secondary school.
And was that unusual at that time?
I went to Mount Sion secondary school after the primary school.
And was that up in Barrack Street?
Yes. Yeah.
And how many years were you there?
I was there, I think, up to third year. And there was a vacancy arose in Henry Denny and Sons. I applied for it and got it. And I was the first Catholic in Henry Denny's, actually. First Catholic, yeah.
And what was your first job there then? What did you do?
I was in sales and marketing.
And what did that involve? What did you have to do with sales and marketing?
Sales, we take orders, telephone, calls coming in, and taking orders by post. And for the company representatives, they sent in orders as well, and we dealt with all of those and dispatched them to the various departments responsible for dispatch.
Okay. And you know when you said you were the first Catholic, was that the first Catholic in the office?
In the office.
Okay. Because I presume all the workers in the factory
in the factory, yes. They would have been mostly Catholic, all Catholic. Yeah.
And that's where the hypermarket is now, isn't it?
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
And what was your memory of Denny's at that time? What was it like?
I must say I was very impressed with it. And they were very good to me, being the first Catholic in there. They were very, very understanding and very, very good, and made me welcome.
And what kind of hours did you work?
9 to 5:30.
Okay. And did you remember your first wage packet? How much you got paid?
Oh, I think for 17 and sixpence.
Oh, okay. 17 and sixpence. That's wouldn't be a whole lot.
No.
Nowadays,
no.
And at that time, what would a young man do? I mean, where would you go as regards entertainment and that kind of thing?
Entertainment?
Yeah. What did you do? What was the crack for young people at that time?
Hunt.
Well, I did quite a bit of hunting on horseback. I was involved in I was rowing. I was rowing in the Waterford Boat Club. I rowed maiden, junior and senior Waterford Boat Club. And we won the Golf Shield, GOFF,
yes.
Golf Shield,
yes.
which was up at that time. And we won that.
And the boat club then was on the far side of the river at that time, wasn't it?
Yes.
And
ferry bank.
Okay, you'd have to cycle over or something, was it?
We arrived at the hotel, the Adelphi, I think it was at the time.
Okay.
And I was then able to whistle across, and a fellow come over.
The ferryman would come over.
Rowing boat, and bring me over, strip off. We were taken out on a 4 boat and an 8 boat. I was bow in the 8 boat, and we won the Golf Shield, which was a big thing in that era.
And rowing was very big in Waterford, wasn't it?
Very big, yeah. Sure, very big.
And tell me, do you remember, like, would you have gone to the local dances at that time?
Yes, in the there was a dance hall in Parnell Street.
The Olympia.
The Olympia.
Okay. And then what about, we say cinema? Where would you have gone to cinema? To the cinema, to the pictures. Where did you go to the? Would you gone to?
Pictures. I went to the Regal Cinema, the Savoy Cinema in Broad Street, and there was also the Theatre Royal in Waterford. There was also activity there. You know, it's quite.
And then, where did you meet your wife? Because I know that this film is going to be about Slieverue, and I know she's a native of this area. So where did you bump into each other? Where did you meet?
I was invited to a social. Her sister was a nurse in the county city infirmary in Waterford, and I was invited to a Christmas party there by some of the nurses. I think Kitty Brennan was one of them, her sister, and we met at that event, and the romance starts from there.
And then how I mean, she was out here in Slieverue.
She lived here, yes.
And where did you meet up then?
She used to come in, cycle into whatever was going on in the city that she was interested in, and I was interested in. So we got together on that basis.
Okay, so you meet up.
Yes, yeah.
And then you actually, when you got married, you moved out here.
Yes, I came to live here, yeah, next door here. And her mother was then alive. She was local teacher, national teacher here. And she lived in the house as well.
And obviously a national teacher was very important at that time.
Yes, it was indeed, yes.
And you got to know her family then?
Yes, her family were very well known. Her mother had a brother, a priest, very Reverend Father Dowling. He was PP in Commerce in EIGSE, which is in the Diocese of Ossory. And he was there. And her uncle was Father Edward Dowling, and he was in different places around the Diocese of Ossory. He was in a place called Commerce. It's in Leeks actually, but in the Diocese of Ossory.
And there was a few famous people in her family, wasn't there? Like from a historical point of view.
Paddy Dowling, he was the author of the Hedge Schools of Ireland, and he wrote that book, and he also wrote a book, History of Irish Education. He wrote those two books at that time.
So who was he then to your wife?
He was an uncle.
Okay, her uncle.
Uncle, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he
her
was
mother's brother.
Yeah, he was a scholar. Where was he based?
He was teaching in he was teaching in London actually, University in London, and he was there quite. We used to visit. They lived in Ealing and Broadway in London, and we used to visit during the war years, 39-45 war. We used to visit him there.
And that must have been very strange during the war to go visiting London.
Yes, indeed.
What was your memory of that?
He was a very nice the memory of the war. Well, I was 39-45 war. I joined the local defence forces. I was in the maritime inscription. We were known as the dryland sailors.
And that goes back to your boating history, I suppose.
Yeah, we had training in Dunmore, and I got an extra week's holidays every year, which was wonderful. And went to Dunmore and stayed in accommodation down there. And we were out rowing and taking different exercises every day, which was very interesting.
And you also said to me earlier that your wife had another connection with the First World War, your wife's family.
1914-18 war.
Yes.
Yeah, her uncle, the very Reverend Father Edward Dowling. He joined the forces. He was Dr. Brownrigg, I think, was the Bishop of Austria at the time, and he applied to him to be relieved of his duties in Ireland and to join the forces, and he was refused. And he wrote to Rome over his head and got permission from the Vatican to join the forces. And in 1914 he went and joined the Dublin Fusiliers, and he was being a priest. He was a chaplain to the forces, the Irish forces, and survived all. He was in the Battle of the Wipers, and the Battle of the Somme, and all those famous battles, and survived them all. Yeah.
Wow.
And came back to live here.
And do you still have the medals or anything, or do you have any of the medals still in the family? Or?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I have, and there was some.
And then coming back
he has decorations as well.
Yes. And coming back to when you moved out to Slieverue, what was Slieverue like for you, coming from the city out here? What was it like?
Well, I came from Grantstown, actually.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, which was 2 miles outside the city. It was. I didn't find it much of a change, really. You know, I settled in very easily.
Okay. And do you remember any characters from that time, early on, like fellows that you met or people that you met?
Characters, local characters.
Yeah.
There was a fellow called Nicky Kavanagh. He was quite a character. He lived here in the new houses, and he used to go to the pub in the evenings, and you'd hear him coming down the street, wobbling from one side to the other, singing, "It's a long ways to Tipperary."
And what was it? Which pub did people go to here? Was it?
Well, there was Rockets and Stapleton's. There were 2 pubs here,
Okay.
and there was one, the Milepost, Powers and the Milepost. That was a very popular one. But Rockets and Stapleton's were the 2 local ones, and I didn't frequent them an awful lot when I arrived here. I wasn't into imbibing.
And was it a kind of a welcoming community at that time? Did you find that you were?
Yes, very much so.
Okay.
Very much so. I was, I felt very happy by coming to live here and getting married to my new lady wife. So
Okay.
it worked out very well.
And there was a few shops here then that time.
There was Griffin's shop here, yes, yeah, and the pub, Stapleton's pub, and Rocket's pub as well.
Okay.
They were the local pubs, yeah.
And the church, I mean, do you remember who the priest was at that time when you first came over?
Hughes.
Was it Hughes? With Hughes?
Dr. Hughes,
Okay.
yeah, Dr. Hughes was there,
Okay.
yeah. and his sister also lived with him. She did the housekeeping, I think, for him for a while in the parochial house. Anna Tully, and she has a son, Donald, who's a dentist in Waterford. You may know of him.
Oh yes, I've often heard the name. Yes.
Yeah. Still around. He's retired now, I think.
And do you know when you said that you used to be involved in the hunt in Waterford? Or were you involved in the hunt in Waterford?
The hunt?
Yeah.
I was, the Waterford hunt.
And was there a hunt out this way?
No, it wasn't. Well, the hunt used to come down from some place in County Kilkenny. Used to come down here, but not very often.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this John. No, that's Frank, John, and Miriam.
John
the eldest.
and Miriam.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. She's the eldest.
And that was taken in Dunmore East when we landed after.
Is that nice to eat, to skate?
Just the wings. You eat the wings only.
I don't think I ever ate skate.
How do you remember all the questions?
Where are you in the picture? Who are you in the picture?
It's like Ernest Hemingway, look. Ernest Hemingway. You ever see Ernest Hemingway? Did you ever see him? Hemingway.
Did you get a video of this one?